I always admire the historians and the former Obama or even a few Bush administration members who are so articulate, and they come on MSNBC or CNN, attorneys and college professors and military leaders who are very articulate. They know what needs to be said. They know how to say it. And I listen to that and I think to myself, gosh, there's no way in hell I could ever be that articulate, that precise in language, that descriptive, and just on and on. And I sit there and I think, darn those people, they're smarter than me. I'm never going to speak to them again, or something like that. So what you hear on this podcast, of course, is observations filtered through the mind of someone who's very, very, excuse me for speaking myself in the third person, someone who's very, very, extremely, maddeningly pissed off. None of this had to happen. None of it. Not a bit of this had to happen. And I'm not going back to the dumb fucks who in the election in 2016 said, I'm not voting for Hillary. That bitch? Oh, no. I'm not even going to go back that far. Just when it became apparent what we had in office, and I guess when it really became apparent to everybody who was in a position to do something about it, was when he talked to Zelensky and tried to convince the president of Ukraine to commit crimes in order to make sure that the orange son of a bitch was reelected. And then the impeachment began. And then, of course, this was 3 years into his filthy administration. But at that point, when there was no doubt to anyone who had a brain or was still capable of observing, processing what was observed, and concluding from that observation that the President of the United States had to be removed, that he was systematically and systemically destroying the government of the United States. To the people of this country, to our horrific disadvantage. But he wasn't removed. He was left to continue to do this shit. So anyway, regarding the historians and the people who will be writing about this for decades to come, can you imagine the books that are going to be written about this incompetent, ignorant, orange bastard? OMFG. I'm sure Bob Woodward is about finished with his concluding book, The Final Days. I'm sure Woodward. You notice you don't see Bob Woodward on any of these CNN or MSNBC or any place talk programs. And anytime Bob Woodward disappears, it is a clear signal that he is writing another book, especially during the reign of this filthy pig, Donald Trump. So I would imagine Woodward's next book will be out soon, but there will be a whole list. I'm thinking of, who is it? Robert Beschloss, a whole list of historians who, and I don't mean this in an offensive way, who are just champing at the bit to get their first draft off to the publishers, their favorite publisher. Oh my God, it's going to result in a mountain of books that most of us who have borne witness to this crazy son of a bitch will not possibly have enough time to read. And a lot of them are going to be written after some of us are long gone off this mortal coil. But the books will be written. And what this filthy son of a bitch Donald Trump did, his entire life, not just as the fake president of the United States, but his entire life, all that he has done to demonstrate that he is the antithesis of anything representing democracy or decency or honor or morality or ethical conduct. Every single aspect of a decent human being apparently was stripped from Donald Trump at a very young age. But that's what the historians are going to reveal, I'm sure. I'm sure it will be fantastic reads until all of a sudden we become just immune to any more of this shit, that Donald Trump was a fart into the history of the United States. Smelly, awful, driving people away, ruining his underpants, that kind of a fart. That's what Donald Trump was. Nothing less. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.